Yet,
Julia.
Who did this to my brother?
There was a man. He attacked us unprovoked.
One man! Are you fucking with me?
No, sir. No,
Don't
sir.
you lie to me! Don't you lie to me! Don't you fucking lie to me! Don't you fucking lie to me!
Welcome to your Sunday night.
well,
Good thing
well,
Janelle's not even
originally,
here with us, otherwise she'd just piss herself laughing from this, like last time she was here.
or Eloise,
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
because to be fair, like she's not a cinephile like us.
Hmm.
Good evening, U.S. Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your Commander Wolf Tank. I am your world, and I'm stricken with strep throat. It seems. I don't know. It's been like that for about 2 days. So if you hear me not saying anything, that's me muting myself and coughing in the background. Today we're doing Open Topic Sunday. Let's see how well this goes. We have the lovely Lady of Valor, Leia Plus Size.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is Leia Plus Size, your lovely Lady of Valor, and I hope you're all having a very good Sunday evening. And we're just going to see how this topic goes today, but I hope we give you a fitting ending to your weekend, which always goes too fast. And thank you all for joining us who showed up.
The Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Greetings to viewers and fellow Final Fantasy fans, this is Final Fantasy Fan 012 and welcome back to another live stream of the UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. And today we're having an open topic stream for the weekend. Even though we were about to discuss music, given the thumbnail being, I think that's Elton John on the thumbnail, is that?
Yes, that's Elton
Yep.
John.
Yep, you are correct.
Yeah, I knew that guy looked familiar, and I totally think it was Elton John, but I didn't think it was. Maybe that might have been somebody else. But yeah, but still, it is an open topic stream today. But we will see how this will go.
The Hound of the South, Donick Powell.
Thank you everyone for joining us in our first episode of Open Topic. Well, it was originally going to be Open Topic Saturday, but now it's Sunday. However, that's beside the point. This is the Hound of South, Dominic Powell, and hopefully you guys enjoy the first episode of Open Topic Weekends. And if there are any topics that you would like us to discuss, feel free to put them down in the voice chat.
So who wants a taker?
Well, why not we start this thing with a bang by discussing music.
Is it any particular genre, or is there any?
Any type
Free
of
for all.
music.
Well, Dominic, did you want to go first since you started? Go right ahead.
Well, what is there to say about music? Music, with the fact and is it brings everyone. Excuse me, tongue tighter. It brings everyone together, while all the while telling a story, through the lyrics, as well as visuals. I think which is carried on by the musician or the band. Yeah, and plus, like in albums, be it regulars or even concept albums, like they explore a variety of themes that are universal, which pretty much like takes everyone in one life from where they were to someplace else as they listen to a musician's or a band's musical sound.
Yeah, and the music can either, like you said, it can either tell a story about someone, whether it's in an emotion or telling a story about something that did happen, like actually something that whether that did happen in their lives or just there just to tell a story on one thing that they just want to tell. Like for instance, Michael Jackson's Billie Jean, the music video. Damn.
You were saying about Billie Jean?
He actually, I'm trying to remember because there isn't in because I remember listening to the interview, trying to look up like what this whole music video was meant to be about because I've seen the music video so many times. In fact, I've even danced to that song in my school prom. Because funny story is that originally the Michael Jackson song I requested to dance to was meant to be Beat It, but he mistook that for Billie Jean and it stuck that way. And then I rolled with it anyway, and when I was dancing to that, everyone was actually cheering me on for doing this just because of how much energy that I had for dancing to that song. And they were actually cheering me on from that. And yet they were even they just went woo after I did the Michael Jackson crotch grab or just and then they were actually just like even cheering me on even more when I was actually doing the moonwalk.
Wow. All right.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty awesome,
Hey,
dude.
Frontal, don't feel
I'm not sure
shame.
if I did
Frontal.
the leg
Everybody
whip.
break out everybody breaks out into the moods when they hear Billie Jean. Everybody does it, so you are not alone. But good for you to break out and go into the whole routine. All you needed was the hat, and then you could.
Yeah, I should have brought my
Yeah.
hat with me,
Yeah,
and
you should've
I didn't have the
had
glove.
that.
I should have brought my hat. I didn't have the glove, but I should have brought my hat.
Yep, and you
Well-
get at the end, Billie Jean, not my lover, fume, and throw the hat out there and see how it goes.
Yeah.
No, so,
But in-
it's
Good for
similar
you,
to
all
Def
right.
Leppard. It's similar to Def Leppard. Like Michael Jackson doesn't have an objectively bad album like in his discography.
Oh no!
No, mm-mm.
I mean, of course, who doesn't love Michael Jackson, really?
And also, it's also worth noting that yes, he has earned the moniker of the King of Pop. However, like throughout his musical career, like he is pretty much more appropriately the King of Music because in each of his albums he incorporates or does different musical genres.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are common instruments that he would use in pretty much a lot of his albums. Like he would use commonly like empty glass bottles, like from I can't remember which song it was, but he would use it in one song. He would constantly use that. Well, not all the time, but in most of his songs, specifically in one album. But I forgot, and I can't remember which song it was, but it's in my head, and I can't even remember the name of that song.
Oh yeah. Well, MJ has played a multitude of instruments, but at the same time, like he does like have his backup band like with him like whenever he goes out to tour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, the idea for Beat It was he wanted to do a rock record, and that was the
Mhm.
inspiration for Beat It. That's why he wanted his name slips my mind, that Eddie Van Halen to play on Beat It in the guitar solo because he wanted to do a rock song. And he said in an interview, I think with Rolling Stone, that that's the kind of record he would make if he wanted to make a rock song. So he said in an interview, he is inspired by different types of music, from R&B to classical to rock. All types of music inspire him, and you saw it within his records. And I have all his records, so you can hear it in all kinds of African rhythms. Was used a lot for Off the Wall in some of his songs. I know you can see it in Working Day and Night. He talked about that. So he had different types of rhythms in his music. A lot of people pay attention to it, but he did. And like you said, who does not like his music? Because he never failed really to make a bad album. Every last one of his albums were good. I should know this. I have them all, and I pull them all out when I'm ready and I'm in the mood. Like I said, I use a lot of his records when I'm working out. You get a great workout on some of those songs.
Mm-hmm. Now the deal with Billie Jean from one of his best known albums, Thriller. The song tells the story of a young girl who claims to be the mother of Jackson's alleged son. He even like put it down. He even like put it down in his autobiography, Moonwalk. There never was a real Billie Jean. The girl in the song is a composite of people my brothers have been played with over the years. I could never understand how these girls could say they were carrying someone's child when it wasn't true. One peculiar case where this happened to Jackson himself was in 1981 when a woman wrote him letters claiming he was the father of one of her twins. She initially appears on the first song of the album, Wanna Be Starting Something.
That's the song, actually.
Yeah.
That's the song I was remembering where he used the empty
One
glass
of her
bottles for that.
twins.
No, the
Yes,
song.
one of her twins.
Oh.
But, however, there's more. Well, his producer, like Quincy
One
Jones,
of
like
her twins.
as I was saying, in fact, now another fact about Thriller.
Motherfucker, you don't make a twin off of two daddies. That shit doesn't work.
Will you let me
The egg
finish, Wolf?
ovulates and split into two babies inside the egg. You don't make twins out of two daddies. Go on, Dom.
As I was saying, another fact about this song for his Thriller album, his producer Quincy Jones originally didn't want to include Billie Jean. You know, he disliked the intro, the bass line, and the song's title, feeling listeners would associate the track with tennis legend Billie Jean King. Jackson fought to keep the song on the album and not change its title to Jones' suggestion of "Not My Lover." Now, despite Jackson's claim in a 2002 interview that the song's bassline came from above, Daryl Hall has said Jackson once told him he'd stolen the groove of Billie Jean from Hall & Oates' song "I Can't Go For That, No Can Do."
Oh yeah, it was also in the album called Bad because it was meant to promote just exactly that song for that because that was actually in his album. In fact, it was in the Michael Jackson video game, Michael Jackson Moonwalker, which it was based on the movie Moonwalker, mostly as a promotion for Smooth Criminal. In fact, the music video of that is in the movie. He even wears that exact same suit in that music video for that movie too. And he used that and the
Stock
game
footage.
yeah, and he used that that movie for the game because the game came out I think a year or two after the film because it came out during the 90s. So then there are about 4 songs, or no, not 4 songs. I think there was 5. Maybe I'm miscounting though. Because the first one was Smooth Criminal because of course it is a reference to the movie, and then it was Beat It, and then Just Another Part of Me, which surprisingly not a lot of people were actually heard about because it was in the Graveyard level, and yet it doesn't actually play Thriller. I'm not sure if that song was in that album or not, but there is a lost file that the song is actually in there, but it just only the dance is in that game though, but it doesn't even play the music unless if you're actually playing it in using one of the lost files for that, like one of the lost games that actually uses that. But it just plays Just Another Part of Me.
North, Eloise.
Hey, Eloise.
Hey there, Eloise.
I can barely
Hello,
talk.
Eloise.
It's nighttime here.
So can I have throat problems.
Anyway,
You say?
so then after that, then it was Billie Jean, which was actually in a cave for some reason, and then finally it was the song Bad, because the entire game itself was meant to promote that album.
Now, arguably, Bad is a precursor to his later album Dangerous, which was not just an incorporation, but each song tackles a different genre of music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like Dangerous. I think it's one of the best albums he ever made. It was Dangerous. I like that album a lot. There's lots of good songs on there that I really enjoy. And I was trying to particularly think of one song. Well, I love Remember the Time, and I love Keep It in the Closet. Not only do I love the song, I love the video. I love the video that he did with Naomi. Oh, I love that song. I love the video to it too. It gets one of his best views. And who does not love Remember the Time? Oh, I Remember the Time is such a classic video. And it brought Eddie Murphy in. He had Magic Johnson in there. And it, again...
Well, don't forget Hey, don't forget Jam and Give In to Me with Slash of Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I love
Yeah,
Jam too.
yeah. Actually, besides the music video for Keep It in the Closet and Remember the Time, so the Jam music video is also another good one because you have Michael Jordan as the guest star.
Yes, and it worked. I liked it. I did. I liked it. And then you had Heavy D did the rap in the
Hmm.
song, and it all worked out really well. Like I said, it shows you he loved different genres of music. And you're right. I do like that Michael Jordan is the guest star in the video because that's a great song. And if I go back to
Hmm.
Minute Final, I am surprised that they didn't put on Thriller and your prom didn't do the Thriller routine. It's still to this day, I'm grown, and when I hear Thriller, oh, I got to get up and stop, move furniture out the way. Got to do the routine every single time, especially with my family. We get together and we all say, "Does anybody remember?" We all said, "Go, got to do the Thriller routine in unison." No lie, one of my favorite things to do. When I hear it, I say, "Oh, got to get up, everybody! Got to do the Thriller routine."
Hey, hey,
Still do
look.
it to this day.
I mean,
Only people still blast like Thriller either in their house or apartment is because the song and the album itself is a timeless gem.
absolutely, yeah. In
Yes,
fact,
and
funny story. Another funny story. In fact, another story involving Michael Jackson. This actually involves me and my mom when I was going back home. Yeah, when we were going back home from rehearsal for my Christmas show. Um, Whenever it was playing, suddenly it was still around Christmas time, but for some reason Thriller played, and I didn't even expect why that would even happen out of all things during the time of Christmas. But and that story is so funny to me. It happened to me twice actually. First was when me and my mom were coming home after the Christmas show, and then the second time it happened again. This time it was me, my mom, and my dad, and then that happened again. And it and also and usually whenever that happens, whenever I'm coming home from play practice or my Christmas show, um, it always just plays a lot of Christmas music all in every station, and my mom always blames me just for that. It's just like, oh, it's got to be you. It's got to be you is doing that. Why me? It's always that time.
well, you can. Well, it shows you can jam any of his songs at any time of year, whether it's Christmas time, Thanksgiving, whenever you're ready to put it on. You play the jams. Hey, you can always play the songs, and also it accompanies to one of the greatest music videos of all time that just cannot be matched. I
Mm.
like the way Michael approached his music videos. He quoted as saying that they were mini movies. And that's how he approached them. And that's why they were so good, because he saw them as mini movies to him. Whereas other people like, oh, well, let's just go and just get this over with. He took them very seriously, and he saw them as an art form. And I that kind of attitude isn't there anymore when it comes to music videos. Everything looks pretty much the same and lazier and shot the same way. But he always sought
Yeah,
to
There's no
they always
variety.
go
music
for
videos as many movies.
they always go for like a pretty much a more like more of a sexy shot, almost like take for instance like in terms of modern singers Ariana Grande. She whenever her music videos come up, she always goes for like a more takes a more sexy approach.
Or Fifth Harmony.
Or yeah, Fifth Harmony.
Or even, and I'm going there,
Do you
even
guys seen the European
Rihanna.
music makers? Like the European music videos that they look like shit. Like it's just random and doesn't match the actual music.
Hey, at least music videos from Europe as well as in Asia. Like they actually match the songs that they're making a music video for.
Mm. In fact,
And they're also fun. Fun like the music videos in Europe and Asia. Like they know how to have fun. Unlike a majority of music videos over here in the West.
mm,
I mean, and
I
I
mean, and
guess
some music videos would even take some stuff too literally, like how Taylor Swift does it when she makes songs. She always
Oh
approaches it
God.
in a more literal sense.
Yes.
So you
And
mean
I'm
she
oh
she really
god.
did hit the cold hard ground in that one song?
Well, you can say that, yeah.
Yes, she does. And some of them are not that great. I'm gonna say it. And somebody else, I'm going there. Rihanna is not very good in her music videos. I'm going to say this. Rihanna is, yes, she's a beautiful woman, but she's very cold and very stiff in her music videos. She is.
Mhm.
It's the songs may be good, but even in when she gets choreography, she just is so stiff in her dancing. When I look back at
You're
her
not
early
wrong.
stuff, and I enjoy her songs, Umbrella's a Jam, and and Rude Boy, all those songs, but she is not a very good, everybody sees it now, but I always felt that she wasn't a very good live performer. I've seen her live several times,
Mhm.
be in the Super Bowl, and she is not good in her music videos. The charisma just isn't there. When she gets choreography to dance, she's stiff and she just cannot project herself through the camera. I really, that part of her, she's not a very good performer.
Mhm.
But just
Beyonce, Michael Jackson,
And
these are people who know how to perform. She does not.
Justin Timberlake like had more dynamic movements for the music video of Rehab than Rihanna.
mhm.
Yes, she does.
Yeah,
She
and
does.
don't even get us started on Britney Spears. She dances like a fucking stripper.
Yeah, well, let's not forget like she much like the members of NSYNC, Christina Aguilera and others like they started off like very young in the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, but it seemed like they went nuts when they got when they left the
Well,
Mickey Mouse
not
Club.
all of them.
Yeah, that's
I mean
because
just
of Hollywood.
I mean just I don't
Mhm.
know, but Justin Timberlake like he's still sane.
Yes, I agree. I agree. He's still a
I think
level
that's
head.
in the future that's gonna be more common that a lot of music artists are not gonna know how to live perform.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is becoming more. You're right, Eloise. A lot of them do not know how to perform. You still have to get out there and perform. And back in the day, one of the good things, a lot of these groups, a lot of the names we mentioned, such as Michael and other singers, were also good live performers. A lot of these artists now, and somebody was, I hope I don't offend anybody out there or here on the panel, but would somebody tell me why in the devil is Harry Styles so popular? Good Lord in heaven, I do not get his popularity. I saw him before live on television, and I'm like, what is that? What
Well,
is,
It's me.
he started off in one direction, and for a while he was pretty chill and sane. However, he started following the trends that are permeating within within multiple facets of entertainment, music included. When he started following the trends that the hobos that have been doing after they infiltrated music and other parts
ah,
of entertainment.
that must be it then. Thank you, Dominic. I knew it had to be something because I've tried to listen to his music. I'm like, I'm not hearing all this. He winning all these awards. I don't think he's that talented to win awards. When Justin Timberlake did his solo stuff, I can see Justin Timberlake winning awards because, well, first of all, I do have his records. They are good records. I'm sorry, Sexy Back is a jam. I don't care. It is.
Now do you have the NSYNC albums?
I don't have the NSYNC albums. I didn't start buying his records until he went solo. I wasn't that crazy about NSYNC, but I did like his solo stuff. I
All,
gotta be honest.
all the girls were crazy
In
about
other
them. I
words, in other
remember.
Oh,
words,
of course.
him going solo was the
Yes.
best move ever.
Yes. Yes, because all those members of those other guys in NSYNC were not exactly. They really didn't have very good solo careers. But of course,
JC Chaz, I mean JC Chazelle, like he won, like he only actually, at least to date, he made a one album what you would call schizophrenic, and much like MJ's like bad and dangerous. It was like each song explores a different genre of music. So you can't really categorize it in just one genre. However, 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 Shazay ended up being overshadowed by JT, which isn't like the fault of Timberlake. Timberlake is just it was just like the nature of the music industry because like all like him like all four of them like are equally talented. However, the music industry want to put Justin in front and center instead of representing each member of NSYNC equally.
I see. Child of Flower is a fan here. Child of Flower, what's your favorite NSYNC song? You want to put it in the comments? I see what you're saying. It's Dominic. Maybe that's why his stuff never took off. I don't think I listened to it that much. I think I was listening more into Justin Timberlake. Is it because maybe the company just felt Justin had the it factor? And maybe that's why they wanted to spend their time on him, that he had that it factor? Because like I said, I did like his records when he went solo.
He does have the it factor, similar to what happened to Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child, like just the music industry, like the music company that was with NSYNC at the time, so like they were focusing their attention onto Justin instead of like representing like everyone in NSYNC, as mentioned prior. But for Destiny's Child, like Kelly and the others, like they were put into the back burner by their manager, Beyonce's dad.
Well, yeah, that's what's obvious. I know the ladies don't want to admit it. I know Beyonce don't want to admit it, but let's face the reality. They were grooming Beyonce to be the star. Let's just keep that real. Let's just be honest about that. And that could be because Kelly Rowland never got a very good music career going. She just never got it going. And I have totally forgotten about the others. I'm sorry. I just totally forgot about the others. But I do agree with you. Let's just face it with Destiny's Child. Beyonce was groomed to be the star. And that's exactly what happened. She blew up to be the star. That's really what it's about. I know they tried to deny it when they were in public and when they were together and they were in meetings, say, no, we're one and we're united. But, let's just face it. She was groomed to be the star. That's what it was.
At the very least, unlike Destiny's Child, like JC, Kirk Fitzpatrick, Lance Bass, and Joy Fatone, like they decided to disband and sing on more amicable terms, unlike Destiny's Child.
Yeah, I think so too. And like I said, Kelly Rowland tried to get a solo career, but she just didn't make any good music. I remember when she debuted her solo record. I don't know if it's at the BET Awards or NAACP Awards or one of these award shows, and it just was not a good performance.
Somewhere along those lines.
Yeah, and it was forgettable. It just was forgettable. The song was forgettable, but maybe it's because she just, like you said, she didn't have the resources to, like the way Beyonce did.
One of those resources provided by the music industry, they don't want to give her a chance.
Yeah,
and let's be real, the music industry always plays favorites.
Oh yes, of course, all the time. All the time.
Whoever's hot on the market, they're gonna put them right in front and center and disregard everybody else.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, that is the oldest play in the book, and that has been going on for some time now. Oh, that's your song. All right, Child of Flower. That has been going on for some time now. When they see a certain artist, they push that artist out, and that is that.
Even if it's gonna be trendy, because just like trends, they come and go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and see that is the factor in the longevity of an artist. If an artist's music is trendy, once that trend goes away, that the artist's career is over. But if that artist can survive a trend, like somebody like Michael Jackson or even Prince, who go on because they're real artists, they can have a lengthful career. But too many and I see that with today's artists now, in my personal opinion, maybe because I'm older, I do not know, but I just see a lot of artists who are more of a trend than really growing into being true artists or having a real longevity. it's like they're going to be only having longevity as long as the trend lasts. But once the trend dies down, they're going to get lost. There's a lot of
Yeah.
artists today that a lot of today I see right now that they're going to fall into that once the
Mhm.
trend passes
I mean,
over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause, like,
On a
one
side note, on a
one
side
music
note,
artist.
a
Oh,
child,
sorry.
on a side note, Child Flower. I remember that episode of the Proud Family very, very vividly because even as a kid, like I recognize that episode as Disney Child's backstory.
I mean, there's actually one music artist that I know of. He's actually my favorite artist, Will Ryan of DA Games. Um, he's mostly he usually focuses on a lot of nerdcore stuff, which is usually music that he would make for video games. Like one of his
Oh
more
yeah, Nerdcore, good choice, man.
and one of his more infamous nerdcore songs is "Build Our Machine," which is the Chapter One song to Bendy and the Ink Machine. And then and it is still the one of his most viewed songs for for his music. But then it's because of that, because Bendy and the Ink Machine wasn't really much more known around that time until now, thanks to that song. And it's because of that there are a lot of fans around that. And Will Ryan was actually known for doing a lot of nerdcore stuff aside from a lot of Bendy songs, because like he's done he's even done remakes for them, like Until Dawn, which is named after the game under the same name, United We Stand, which is for the Battlefield 1 song, Atomic Renegade from Fallout 4, and then I forgot what it's called, and then
Alright,
oh wait,
guys, good night.
Good Night, Eloise.
Good night, Eloise. Good night.
And then another nerdcore song, Get Out, from which is the Hello Neighbor song. And then a lot of people were requesting like more Bendy songs. So then suddenly he made a Chapter 2 song called Gospel of Dismay. And then there was a Chapter 3 song in the works because everyone was loving Bendy. They were requesting it more and more and more and more. And then he was getting so tired of it. And then he vented just from that. And it's because of that, that's what gave him the inspiration to create some more original content, which he has made before, like the War album, which is meant to be a acronym of his real name, Will Alexander Ryan, fittingly called the War album, and then the Onyx Colony. But then because of this, because of how much he would didn't take these requests anymore, feeling like more of a circus animal, that gave the creation to Heart of an Artist, the Heart of an Artist album, which is part of the Iris series.
Weird.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's very fascinating. I think you're saying that. Another genre of music that you could count that he talks about is, I like to call it the vocalist, of people who can actually sing. And and that category would be Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, and now we have Adele in that category. These are whoever you talk to, but I think are who have what's the word? I guess pipes. Vocalist. Those are singers. And
Well, Tina Marie was
I think
was
I've
also a
named the
vocalist.
best four that we have so far. Yeah, Tina Marie. Yeah,
In
definitely
fact,
was a vocalist.
in fact, a
and
lot of
writer.
vocalists are even Broadway performers. A lot of them are.
Or they started out in
yes,
Broadway
yeah.
before making the transition to music.
In fact, need to look this up. It's actually in the 25th anniversary edition of this play, because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of vocalists in this play that are actually in this play, and it is one of the most it's the 25th anniversary edition of Les Miserables, the concert version of Les Miserables. I need to look up the cast. One of them I actually do know. Norm Luis as Inspector Javert. I think Alfie Beau as Jean Valjean, and Those two are absolute vocalists. Because in order to actually, Philip Quast, who was actually in the 10th anniversary edition of the concert version of Les Miserables, he actually gave a pretty good at least he actually showed at least on how do you actually sing a guide to sing Les Miserables. One way to do it is you actually speak the vocals, because a lot of the songs in Les Miserables are pretty personal. I mean, given that whether it's because it's dealing with a personal character such as Valjean actually thinking about actually using his actually rethinking his life to turn his life around, or whether it's actually about the rebellion or the oppressed, because Les Miserables takes place during the June Rebellion of 1832, and so rebellion would play a huge part in this because of how much it deals with class tension within the entire play that we see everywhere throughout the play. Because actually, not only the play, but throughout the entire story, because that's also the major theme in the original book.
So the singers who sing for Miserables basically have to have some good vocal training.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I bring that up because singer Pat Benatar, I don't know if all of you are young, you probably don't know who
Ooh, Pat Benatar. I love her.
is. I love her too, Dominic. I am a big fan of her music, and when she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which was a great ceremony last year, I still watch that. She said the reason that she's had this long career is because she was a classically trained singer before she turned to rock. So she learned how to be a good vocalist. And I think that's another point we're having right now, is that I think a lot of these artists are not vocalists. They are not classically trained. They always say, well, I'm self-taught or self-trained. I think they need to learn how to sing. It doesn't mean you can't sing, but I think they need to
Lies.
learn their vocal abilities.
Those are lies. That's fucking
What lies that
lies.
that they should not be trained vocalists?
No,
You don't think they should
lies
be
that they're
trained vocalists? I
self-taught.
think. Oh, okay. So you think they're saying that they really weren't trained, but they're just not lying about it.
Yes, it's all a bunch of lies. It's all auto-tune bullshit. Self-correcting,
Ah, okay.
self-modulated voices, all that shit. We all know they're using technology for their fucking voices. That's why they always sound the fucking same.
Yes, Wolf does bring a good point. I do agree, guys, that a lot of singers do sound the same. I absolutely agree with that.
There's no
It's like everybody is
differentiating
sounding
them.
the
Yeah,
same.
you had other, you had each century of singers. Every generation of singers almost sounded the same, but they had the distinction. You can tell the distinction. I mean, you could say the OJs almost sound like what's a good comparison? What is a good comparison? I'll do
Levert?
it one better. You could say that Enchantment almost sound closer resembling to Earth, Wind, and Fire, but they sound
Okay.
distinct.
All right, that's a good
They
one.
had, the lead singer to
Yeah.
Enchantment had a distinct voice. You almost thought he was a woman. Hell, most of these guys you almost thought were women if you didn't look at if you didn't look at Soul Train. You know, but like
Mm-hmm.
you also
Yeah.
had,
Yeah.
you also had, excuse me, you also had the '90s singers. Hell, half the time, Jussie almost sound like freaking Mint Condition, or Mint Condition almost sound like New
Yeah.
Edition. They almost sound the same, but here's the kicker though. Here's the kicker. None of these motherfuckers had any of that freaking vocal modular voice except for Zap. Zap
Yeah,
popularized
that was
that,
true.
but Zap made his own.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
wanna be your man. I wanna be your man. You know that stuff.
Yes.
Excuse me. Dealing with the throats. Hope I don't have throat cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
No.
Yeah. Mucus is a hell of a drug. Not kidding. But like I said, there's always going to be that generation where they almost sound alike. But the thing is, they had natural voices. Like
Hmm.
from the early to late '90s to early to mid 2000s, almost every person had their own voice. Hell, even
Well, the
you
80s and
know,
70s too, as well as the 60s and 50s.
I'm going on the more recent. I'm going on the more recent. When we were transitioning between those eras from the '90s to the early aughts, right?
Yeah.
Everybody still had their own distinct voices, but they also kind of almost came close to being together, you know.
Hmm.
But then you had that place where everybody branched out everywhere. You know, you had reggae, uh, uh, uh Hispanic, you know, mariachi stuff was kicking
Mm-hmm.
now. Hispanics was getting into the rap game too. Um, Hell, they even experimented with orchestra. Y'all remember
And
that?
also, world music. Paul Simon of Simon and Garfunkel, like he started incorporating world music into his sound. So when he started his solo career,
You know, the reggae scene was coming in, and
dancehall.
yeah, cha cha, all that stuff was hot, was hit. You know, these days everybody has that
Mm-hmm.
techno shit, and as Child has said, that twang whiny shit. Oh
Well,
goodness, I can't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
instead of using the tech to enhance their vocals as well as the instruments, like they're using it as a crutch.
And
Yeah,
don't
they're
even start
just.
on the mumbling. The fuck you
Hmm.
mumbling for?
Oh God.
You scared to get your
Yeah.
voice out there? You mumbling all that shit? I can't. I'm like Steve Har. I'm with Steve Harvey on the Kings of Comedy. Okay, I'm with him. I can't hear half the shit what you saying. I don't understand this motherfucker right here.
That's
I'm
very
trying
true.
to follow your ass. You know that
Yes,
shit.
that's very true.
Remember
Yes.
y'all remember that shit, right? That skit
Yeah,
on Kings of Comedy when you talking about when music was music.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I was like,
Yes. I
you
remember
what?
that skit
Steve
clearly.
was
Yes.
on point with that shit. It didn't even come relevant until later on. Sound like a bunch of dogs trying to rap. Sound like Scooby Doo trying to rap. And then when they stop mumbling, you still can't understand what the fuck they saying. They got this scratchy old voice and shit. Like y'all motherfuckers gonna bust a gasket way faster than these old school singers. You gonna bust a gasket before the
hmm
OJs even bust,
Mhm.
bust a gasket, and OJ's got some pipes. I can't sing
and the
OJ's
four
right now. My voice is so
Yes.
fucked up right now.
and the four and the four tops.
Oh,
Yeah,
And
the four
what?
tops.
Yeah, what's interesting fact about that particular group is is the original members, like including his lead, like they never they've kept they stand firm on their ground and refuse to like allow them to go solo. Yeah, so
exactly.
the original line has been around for over 40 years.
Freaking OJ's are still together, though they are missing
Oh
one.
yeah. Yeah, because like there are like music publishers that want as Donald mentioned, like they always want to pick favorites and they want that favorite to go on and to lead the band and start a solo career. However, with others such as the Four Tops and the OJs, they refused. He was like they're going they're riding and dying.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right.
Yep. The
I
OJs, the
guess you'll
Whispers.
never break us apart.
heck, heck, Def Leppard,
The
Def Leppard,
Whispers,
but
the
you still
Temptations. Yes.
and Def Leppard, you still have like the original lineup.
Yeah, they used to. You're right. You're absolutely right about that, Dominic. I'm amazed, but I'm also happy that the original lineup is still there. And Jeff Elliott, is that the lead singer's name?
Joe Elliott.
Am I right? Joe Elliott. Thank you, Joe Elliott. His vocals are still good.
Mm-hmm.
His vocals are still good for a rock singer. Usually it's gone, but for a rock singer, his vocals are still there.
We also can't forget Guns N' Roses, which for a while, well, I think like things like went south for them like later on in their career. However, as time passed, like they all came back together and better than ever, including Axel and Slash who finally like reconcile with each other and they're touring again. Plus like if you pay attention in their concerts, like Axel he is gradually losing a lot of weight.
Good.
Is that good? Yeah, I hadn't seen him in a while. He gained pretty much a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh well, let's hope he's doing better.
Oh no, he's doing better now, and
Um,
people can say what they only well about his vocals. However, he puts in the effort to keep his voice sharp. Sure, because I know like people like talk about like as time passed, like his vocals like sounds like almost like Mickey Mouse, which I understand. However, it's not even close.
I know one group from the 80s that really worked because her vocals were so great, and that was the Eurythmics. Again, y'all are
Ooh,
young.
yeah, Annie Lennox. Yeah,
Annie Lennox had
I love the Eurythmics.
I'm a big Eurythmic fan. Another group that was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know if anyone saw the ceremony. It was on HBO Max, HBO, but I personally felt the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony for 2022 was better than any award show this year. I mean, the music was so good, and she sang live. And one of the reasons the success of Eurythmics, I think, were her vocals. I love to hear her sing. Were her vocals? Yes. I love, because I forgot to ask I think she said she was classically trained a little bit, but then I forgot how much of it that she really had. But even seeing her to sing on stage, even then, and the vocals to still be sharp, guys, I just don't think this generation is going to be like that. I think when they get to be in their middle ages or 40s or 50s, their vocals are just not going to be there. I don't think they're going to be able to perform like these others do now.
Another thing I do even want to mention with one part of Les Miserables, actually with no matter it's on one part of the song, it's one of the most emotional songs within that album. Actually, almost all the songs are emotional. But when you are gonna be an emotional song, one such song, "I Dreamed a Dream" or Fontine's death, because whenever you're gonna be singing for Fontine. When you're going to be singing I Dreamed a Dream, promise yourself one thing. Don't you cry. Because this is what happened in the 2012 film adaptation of the musical when Anne Hathaway was Fantine. When, okay, yeah, she got the Oscar for that. And hey, that's pretty much why she wanted to do that. Because I think she was a huge Les Mis fan. And that's why she wanted to get on there anyway. But when this is the thing that's always rings true with a lot of vocalists, that your voice is your instrument. You have to actually take care of this. The very first instinct you don't want to do with it is to get it wet, because it would ruin the instrument, and once the instrument is ruined, that's what your voice would sound like when you cry. Because your tears not only are running down your eyes, but you would also have uncontrollable breathing. You can't have any control over your diaphragm, and also a lot of stuff actually runs in your throat, like starts running down in your throat, and even snot starts running down because you can't actually control that when you start crying. So promise yourself this whenever you're singing an emotional song, such as I Dreamed a Dream or any if you get the role of Fantine, don't you cry.
It's also important to never squeeze or push your voice because it leads to strain.
Mm-hmm.
Always
Yeah.
always
Always.
sing from your diaphragm as establish a smooth transition between your chest voice and your head voice as well as mastering the mix.
Mm-hmm. But remember this whenever you're singing too. Sing up, not out.
Hmm.
Very true. Final, you're both right because that's good technique. If you are going to go to Broadway and you're going to a musical, you have to remember you are doing that 7 nights a week. So you have really
Yeah.
got to take care of that voice. You know, you're on that stage in a Broadway show. Broadway
7
runs
whole
a 7
nights,
nights a week
and
show.
I'm just
Yes.
about through. 7 whole nights, and I'm through with you. I can't take it no more. I had enough of you. I'd rather be on my own.
Child, so that's a good question. Do you mean that before she had surgery on her throat? Or recently when I think she was supposed to have this residency in Las Vegas and I think it was postponed due to her throat. I know a couple of years back, yeah, she had some vocal problems. I can't quite remember what it was. She could not sing, period. It was a long time before she could get her voice back. And then eventually she got her voice back. But I am not sure. She did explain what happened. She did
Well,
explain, but I can't quite remember what it was. But before her last album, there was a period after she had Rolling in the Deep that she could not sing at all. Nothing came
mhm.
out, and she had to have vocal surgery on it. And I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but Final and Dominic are right. If you are on Broadway in a musical, you really have to treat your voice like an instrument. You've got to or like a muscle. You got to treat it like a
Yes.
muscle. Yeah, that's what you have to do. Because remember, you got to hit those notes 7
Yes.
nights a week.
Yeah. And you
And
see this in choir
and,
too, because
and if
again,
you
when you
miss, and if you mess up during your practice, that's perfectly fine. But
yes.
it's like a workout.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
if you didn't get it the first time, so then and the next day after you have your resting period, go go back and do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Because you even see this in choir too. Because you have to, whenever you're singing in choir, keep your back straight, relax your arms, keep your head straight too, but also relax your jaw. And once again, whenever you're singing,
And
whether you're in choir or you're actually singing a song, I'll say this again: sing up, not out.
mm-hmm.
Because for Disney, in the early days, or maybe in the 90s, when they were having their best
The
period with their
Renaissance.
animation, the Renaissance, they used a lot of Broadway singers to be the voices for their characters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they used a lot of the Broadway singers. That's why some of the songs and the soundtracks and the musicals were so memorable, because they used a lot of Broadway singers to voice the characters and sing for the characters. Now, in the case of Pocahontas, they split it up. They had Irene Bedard did spoken, and then another actress did her vocals. And I don't know if that's been, and I think that was the same way with Yasmin from Aladdin. Leia Gone did the singing of her, and then another actress did her
Why'd you pronounce it
vocal voice.
Hispanic like?
But
Is it Yasmin or
What-
Jasmine? I'm dyslexic.
Jasmine. She's
They
named
all
after
say
the
Jasmine.
jewel.
Jasmine. But even before
Sorry.
even before the Renaissance era, like, we had Oliver and Company, and you had Billy Joel as the voice, regular and singing for Dodger. And it was a surprise
Yes,
surprise
that's
for
true.
people
That
back then and afterwards, because it was like we all recognize Billy Joel as a musician and not an actor. So for his first like acting debut through voice, it's still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it worked out. Like they said back then, yeah, they used a lot of vocalists, and I think he was the first like popular or if you want to call him pop music or whatever, vocalist to voice.
Well, he's a rock. Well, he came from the rock genre. But we also had Bette Midler, who was the voice for Georgette.
Yes, that's true, and it worked out. And I was
and also
also
she was,
going to.
So
and also she
before
sung
she was
for.
a witch, she was a dog.
Yep. Yep, because one infamous character that she did play, she actually did sing in that one. Sisters!
Of course, come on. How can we not forget Hocus Pocus?
Uh-huh.
Yes, the fun she had with so true. How can we not forget that one?
You can tell in that movie she and the other actresses were having a blast.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that's why everybody fell in love with the first one, because all of them were having a good time. And what's her name? Oh God. She played Carrie from Sex and the City.
Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
I forget, she was on Broadway as well, because she made her debut on Broadway.
Yeah, she kind of did not age well.
No, I agree.
That bitch had horse face even when she was younger. I don't know what you talking about.
Well, she played Annie from one of my favorite musicals from my childhood. She was Annie. She was on Broadway as Annie. I don't know if she was the original. She wasn't the original Annie, but she did have a chance to play that character on Broadway. So her vocals in Hocus Pocus were not bad, but she wasn't a bad Annie either. One of my favorite musicals from my childhood was Annie. I loved Annie as a little girl.
Neil Star, that remains one of my favorite songs from the Oliver and Company soundtrack. Now, Why Should I Worry by Billy Joel. Now, Why Should I Worry?
Okay. Yeah, that's a song.
I'm street smart.
Tim Burton called her a horse. Oh my God.
I can't right now. My voice like this.
I know. I'm just saying, keep practicing as you recover.
I'm feeling my diaphragm vibrate by the days.
Hot tea and lemon will help with that throat.
Sip
you some hot tea. Rest your voice before you go to bed with some hot tea and lemon, and that's what I did when I had a bit of a sore throat. A couple of months back, and that really helped. Sip on some tea and lemon. I was sipping it early in the morning, before I worked, and in the evening before I went to bed, and that helped a lot.
Warm pineapple juice helps too.
Warm.
Now, Billy Joel.
Yes.
Now, Billy Joel may not be making any more albums, but he is still touring.
Yeah, I like some of his records.
Yeah. Plus, much like Joe Elliott of Def Leppard, he has aged gracefully, especially in the voice range.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying, Dominic. Yeah, vocal wise, he still, his voice is still good. For him aging, his voice is still good. He can still rock out the classics. They taped the concert here live, and he sung Photograph live, and it sounded just as good as back in the day when the song first came out. I don't know how he does it for being a rock star, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but he has managed to keep his voice in good shape. All of Def Leppard really has aged well, because some of the original members still play in the band. The drummer, even one inspiring story for the drummer, the one that lost his arm and still continue to find a way to keep playing, because usually when that happens, most your career is over. But that guy found a way to keep drumming with one arm. It's amazing.
Not to mention Joe, Phil Collins,
they lose it.
Joe, Phil, and the others, like they stopped their concert and they stayed by Rick Allen's side as he was like going through the process after he had that accident, which shows how close of a bond their friendship.
His whole arm is gone.
Even the shoulder.
What is the shoulder still there, Dominic? But I know the arm is not there.
No, his shoulder is still there. He just doesn't have his arm.
Right.
But as I as I was saying
Go
like
ahead.
Phil, and Vivian, like they stopped her, and also and Rick Savage, like they all stopped the concert they were playing it at the time all those years ago, and they stayed by Rick Allen's side, like as he was like going through the surgery to to get him properly treated. He may have lost his arm, but he can still play the drums. That just comes to show how close of a bond their brotherhood is.
Yes.
That's a sign of true friends.
Yes, you're right, Dominic. Joe Elliott told that story, and it just shows they were more than just a band. They were a family. They did. They stuck by him through the whole time as he tries to recover, rehabilitate. And then when he said, look, I think I can still find a way to do this. And they still stuck with him through the thick and thin. That's like being a family. You're right about
Yeah.
that. And that's rare. That's really rare. And that's really inspiring to hear that they weren't just this rock band. It's that they were like brothers. Like you said it. They were like a
So
family.
most of today's bands, like they sure take notes of Def Leppard, the OJs, the Four Tops, and others before them.
Yeah, they do. They need to. It seemed like it was, and it showed when, like, for instance, I go back to Bohemian Rhapsody, and what I love about Bohemian Rhapsody, and there's another man who had incredible vocal range, was Freddie Mercury. I swear there
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
any type of music he could not do because his range was so good. But you also saw the process of them making their albums, really being in the studio, going, I think the scene where they went to the farm and say, look, we're going to stay here and we're going to work on this album to get it to where we think it should be. You don't see that anymore. A good album takes time. You can't rush a good album. It takes time to
Hmm.
put it together. It may take several different recordings before you get it right. And we all know Queen just had this unique sound. It was like I said, there was nothing they couldn't do. They could do rock, they could do a little soul and a little operatic. The
And
Bohemian
funk.
Rhapsody, yeah, and dance too. A little bit of everything was in there, including their anthem. We will rock you, and we are the champions. And who has not heard or jammed to that? Who has
E-
not
Even
jammed to that?
even during their hiatus, there was like each of the members like were producing their own independent works, whereas and you can hear them like vocally like separate from one another, which is good. But when they're together as a band, then like their natural talents are enhanced.
Yes, yes, and that what
And that's
made it.
and that's actually one of my critiques from the Bohemian Rhapsody movie is it didn't really capture the full experience of Queen. Because I remember because like I remember when after it came out, I was shaking my head with no, that's not how it happened, and as well as how it handled kind of like Freddie's sexuality because we know, like in his life he swung both ways. However, in the movie they just want to paint him as a gay man instead of a bisexual man.
Mm-hmm.
You,
Because he
you
is
know.
quite the romantic.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Oh yes. Yes. You could hear his lyrics in his songs, and you're not wrong. That was one of the criticisms of a lot of critics had about Bohemian Rhapsody was, yeah, it's got its good parts, but there are some parts here they didn't really handle very well. And you do make a good point that the film seemed to just want to focus on Freddie Mercury and not the whole group themselves. And I think because they wanted to pick, Hollywood was getting into that agenda virus was starting to spread. And I think they wanted to play more of the agenda of Freddie Mercury than just letting the music do the talking. They should have just let the music do the talking and the band. And then, like you said, they just try to paint him as he was this suffering gay man. But yep, he was bi. And like you said, very romantic. It came across in his lyrics.
yeah,
It
he was
came,
he was filled with life. There, of course there's also the song like Fat Bottom Girls, which he and Brian May written together. So it should have stated like throughout throughout the song, like in its lyrics that yeah, Freddie is the lead. Well, he also happens to swing both ways, but that doesn't make up his whole character.
Right.
It's only a supplementary trait.
Right. It doesn't. Right. To me, it was always his music and his talent. That's what you kind of have to put emphasis on, that they didn't emphasize, is the music and the talent that he
And
had.
actually, another fact about Fat Bottom Girls that I didn't know until years later is when Freddie and Brian were making it, like how its conception is actually came from an incident that occurred in Brian's youth, where he was actually molested by a babysitter of his when his parents were having a night out in town.
Is that what the song is about?
No, say that was the
Oh.
no, that was the inc- no that
Oh,
incident.
okay.
No, that incident.
Hmm.
Like where she like touched Brian inappropriately as a kid. Like became the inspiration for Fat Bottom Girls. But he took that trauma and turned it into something else.
Well, good for him. I'm gonna stay on topic, but good for him. But they don't listen. Men get sexually harassed too, but
Hmm.
nobody wants to bring that up. But it happens quite a bit. It happens more. The reason it's not mentioned is because men don't talk about it. They're told to keep quiet, or they don't put emphasis on it because they believe, oh, this can happen to men, but it does. But it's good that he turned it around, though. It's good that he turned
Yeah,
it around.
it's similar. It's actually similar to how Pearl Jam song like Alive like came to be. So be where it's that was based off of like Eddie Vedder not being given a chance to be introduced to his real dad. He was actually kept a distance from his real dad by his mom, and at the time like he was angry. He was angry that his mom did that to him. So and while while on one hand like it was lost in translation in the lyrics. However, at the same time, felt like it actually became a very inspiring song to get yourself back up of whatever hardships that you're going through and keep moving forward. And he even mentioned in interviews it was that by having the people like take away the lyrics from that, it actually became a blessing in disguise. That it became a song of keep moving forward and never giving up on hope. It's, and again, like much like with Fat Bottom Girls, it's talking about like appreciation of women.
Well, that's good to hear, since they say they don't get like that. And speaking, we're talking about inspirations. I have a little story to tell. And just this week, I was listening to um, the greatest hit. You all are young, so you probably don't know who this guy is. But I was listening to my Rick Springfield greatest hits album.
What? Oh, nice.
Oh, I had when Rick Springfield came out, I had the biggest crush on him. Good God Almighty, I was so in love with him. Sexy as I don't know. I thought he was just hot as ever. But he had a very
I believe it.
woof. That's not
Well,
Rick
I
Springfield.
mean,
I was
I may have been born in '96, but maybe born in '96 and a millennial. However, I'm an old soul.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Final probably doesn't know who the heck a Rick Springfield is. He's young,
I
but
think
he
my mom
was.
has heard about it, I think.
Yeah, your mom or grandma might have loved him, but when I was young, oh, he was one of my biggest crushes. Oh, I used to love Springfield. Well, I still have his albums, and I was listening to his greatest hits album the other night, and of course, Wolf is sick. Of course, Dominic, I'm sure you're aware of the song that got his career going, which was Jesse's Girl.
Hmm.
And yeah, now Jesse's Girl was a song. A backstory about Rick Springfield is that Rick Springfield
I
was
wonder when
on.
I'll have a girl like that. Jesse's girl.
Yes, that song. He started off as an actor. He was on a very popular soap opera, General Hospital. He played Dr. Noah Drake. Yes, I know this because I watched it for him. But his real heart was music. He really wanted to be a rock star, and he was actually very good. And the idea is he was asked about Jesse's Girl. And if you don't know the backstory, the song was based on a true story of himself. He was in love with his best friend's girlfriend, and he felt bad about it. And he was envious of his best friend because he was in love with her. And that's how the song Jesse's
Yep, I
Girl came
remember
about.
that.
He sat down and wrote his feelings out in the song. And that is how Jesse's Girl,
I
Jesse's
knew it.
yeah, yes. He said, yes, that is a true story. He was in love with his best friend's girlfriend, and that's where the lyrics, he sat down one night, jealous, and he wrote those lyrics, Jesse's a friend, no, he's a good friend of mine. Lately, something's changed. It's hard to define. Jesse's got himself a girl, and I want to make her mine. And that was a true song. Song was a smash hit. Everybody loved it, and guys related to it because they all would told Rick that they were in similar situations. But that is how that song became a smash hit, and I love it to this day. But what people don't know is Rick Springfield was a good songwriter. He was a good songwriter. Another song that I love from him that is up there is called "Don't Talk to Strangers," and he wrote that song.
That's actually a favorite of mine.
It's one of my favorites of mine as well. And the inspiration for that was he was concerned about his younger sister. She wanted to go to Hollywood, and he wanted to warn her of the traps of Hollywood. And that's why the song was written, because he was scared. He was trying to warn her to be careful of these dudes, they're these handsome guys who are slick, and they promise you they're going to do all these things for you and make you famous and put you in movies, but they have ulterior motives. So he said it was a warning to his younger sister. And I do love that song. That's one of my favorite songs from him. I think it's like one of my, next to Jesse's Girls, one of my top songs from him. But he wasn't just, sexy and fine the way I thought he was, but he was a good songwriter. Listening to him talk about the inspirations for all of his records, I thought he was a good songwriter, and I thought he was a good rock star. But he always wanted to be a rock star. They got him in acting, but he left General Hospital once Jesse's Girl took off, and he wanted to devote all of his time to just doing music. And I had the crushes on him for the longest, but I loved all of his records. But see, you get these actors now who want to be singers. And Wolf, you need to stop. But Rick Springfield to me was the real
singer-songwriters
deal.
want to be actors.
Right. But Rick's, you've been there. Jesse's Girl, you feel the song. It wasn't my best friend's girl. Yeah, many men wrote Rick Springfield. Thank you, Neil Starr, for sharing that. Said that they understood that, glad he made that record because they all were in the same boat as he did when he wrote it. And but Springfield was, to me, because I still play his records, he was a good songwriter. And I liked his music, and he was very good live too. I could see why he wanted to devote himself to music. I can see why he acted now and then, but mostly he just did. Once Jesse's Girl took off, he just said, "I just want to focus on music. I really want to be a musician more than anything." But he was one of my early crushes when I was young, and I loved his songs. And yeah. Don't Talk to Strangers is right up there. And I can still sing it. I still sing it to this day. And you just don't get a lot of songs like that you still know the lyrics to. Even though you heard them when you were a teenager, you still know the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
So you still know the lyrics too. And somebody else that actually was a good singer was Neil Starr. I'm bringing back memories for Neil Starr. So Neil Starr, you were in love with your best friend's girlfriend. You were in love with her. That's why that song is still popular to this day. Springfield said so many guys had been in that situation. And that's one of the reasons why that song was so popular. But he said he got all these letters from guys saying, "Thank you for making that record, because I've definitely been in that situation." But Rick said it was a true story. It was a true incident. He just came home and just wrote how he felt. He was in love with his best friend's girlfriend. Where can I find a woman like that? Yep, I still sing it.
I can't wait to get to school each day for you to pass my way. and bell starts to ring, and angel starts to sing. I'm gonna whoop each and every one of y'all ass. Y'all know all I do is think of you. That's what follow up after that.
What from Rick Springfield?
No, you supposed to follow up after I say, and the angels
Oh.
start to sing.
I'm sorry, Wolf. I got thrown off with what song you were doing.
Well, yeah, I wonder why. Maybe it's because he just keeps putting up sexy men.
Okay,
Hey,
haha, okay.
hey, Final.
Shade,
Listen, you
Like
you can
that.
you can thank your star. Well, you can
I'm
thank
not
your
saying
stars,
I
Final.
blame you,
That
Leia. I'm
yeah,
not saying I blame you. This is
Hey,
basically
that's the
Wolf's
no.
chaotic
No.
for
nature.
you.
Oh,
So
hey,
Yes,
hey,
what
Final.
true, true.
At least he didn't show cheesecake.
Oh, he will eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, he will show
Because
a
this is the thing with Wolf.
cheesecake.
Expect the unexpected.
Hey, little girl, I adore.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
shit! Down throat.
Look, I would Wolf. Look, man, since your throat is not the best of shape, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
I'll go out on my own terms.
Just trying to protect your voice.
I know.
Speaking of actors who want to be singers, actually
Or
also
vice versa.
or vice versa as well. Singers who want to be actors. Some don't always turn out that way. There are some singers who should never act, and there's some actors
The
who should
bitch
never.
can't act, and I'm talking about Beyonce.
I was just about.
Yeah, she's not Tyrese who started off in music first
Can't
before
act
he
either,
transitioned to acting.
but somehow he's still getting movies.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that.
I love
Hey,
you, but I fuck other girls. I don't know. I just do.
hey, look, Eddie Murphy, he at least show that he can act as
I'm not
well
Eddie
as
Murphy.
sing.
I'm not talking about Eddie Murphy. I'm
I'm
talking about Tyrese.
I'm saying I'm saying as an aside from
Right.
Tyrese.
You know who can
Yeah,
also do that too? George Clooney.
Yep,
Judge
George
Clooney
Clooney,
can.
all the
And who
Parliament
can ever forget
Funkadelics.
the legend who can act and sing? Who can ever forget David Bowie?
Oh yes. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Final. Yes, yes, I absolutely agree with you. Yes, David Bowie could act and sing. Yes, I do agree with that.
And
Now.
another singer who is also a romantic.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
David Bowie.
Who
Yes.
also happens to be a bisexual as well.
and it's also, and he was married to a lovely woman, and she who happens to be a fashion model.
Oh
Mhm.
yes, Iman. Yeah, one of
And
the most.
Iman, yes.
chocolate.
And I
Yes.
remember being introduced to David's wife through House Party 2 of all places.
Yeah, she
Does
was.
she? Yes, because yes, she does some acting every now and then. No, but her passion lies in modeling.
You're right. In her early career, she did do a little acting, like you said, in House Party. I came to her for On the Runway, and she actually has a fashion line, which is pretty good. I have bought a few things from her because some of these actors do a fashion line and the clothes suck, but she actually knows her fashions. That's what she's doing now for herself. She went into making her own designer clothes, but they're not high end. She designs for the everyday woman. She does not do a high end fashion line.
Hmm.
So maybe that's why she has found success. She chose not to do a high end. She wanted to make fashion. She said in an interview, she wanted to bring the runway to the everyday woman because she got tired of seeing us everyday women in sweatpants and scrunchies and said that you can do better than that. So she said, I'm going to make clothes.
Jesus Christ, that didn't help much, did it? Because I still see them bitches in scrunchies and
Yeah.
sweat clothes. And now yoga pants and
Oh,
leggings.
well, she doesn't make yoga pants. She makes.
Hmm. Well,
She does not.
now another individual who's a model who is a model and actress. However, she is also a singer, Grace Jones.
Yes. I forgot to mention Grace Jones, and been very successful.
Yeah,
She's been very,
she's still active in both modeling as well as in the world of music.
and I always bring this up. The next fool who says, there aren't any black people in fantasy stories, did not see Conan the Destroyer, in which she was in the film as a character. So
which
don't
also
give me
feature
that.
which also feature Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sarah Douglas. And
Yes,
she's also in A View to Kill as Mayday.
yes, she was a Bond girl too. Yes, so
Mm-hmm.
everybody forget Halle Berry is the. I have to tell them.
No, Grace Jones.
You forgot about Grace Jones. You completely forgot about her. It's Grace Jones.
She
Yes.
was even referenced in. She was even referenced in Black Panther.
I gotta remember. Was she referenced in Black Panther?
Yes, she was the first movie. Who's out there? I don't know. Some Grace Jones looking chicks.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Oh
You're
yeah,
right.
right.
Yes.
I got a
Yes.
chuckle out of
Yes.
that when you said that. I was like,
Yeah.
somebody knows Jake. Somebody knows their Jace Jones. Okay.
Yes.
What
Yes.
about Street Fighter Cammy?
You
We're talking
mentioned
about
the yoga
music,
pants
man.
thing.
Matthew does he know we're talking about
Well,
music?
I mean,
If he's
wait a
not,
minute.
then he now knows.
I was gonna also someone in the 80s that actually wasn't a bad singer. We know he's retired now due to dementia, but Bruce Willis actually wasn't a bad
Yep.
vocalist.
Mm.
Bruce Willis
Yeah,
was a good
Bruce
singer.
Willis.
Yeah, Bruce
Yeah,
Willis was.
yeah, and this was also before. This was before he became a douchebag, and on top of becoming the most difficult actor to work with.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look,
it's true. Go ahead.
he much like other actors and actors, they start off in humble beginnings. Some of them some were able to remain down to earth. Others they sacrificed their humbleness and integrity for fame, which led them to becoming becoming a-holes.
That is the poison of Hollywood. That's very true. They start off humble, decent people, but the more popular they get, the more they begin to change.
Like heck,
And
hey,
yeah,
like Bruce, he was in the first two Expendables movies, but he ended up being recasted by Harrison Ford for the third movie because I guess because he actually got into a conflict with Sylvester Stallone, and he decided to recast him because he noticed that he has gone lazy.
who? Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce.
Oh, okay. Yes,
On top of his behavior, which affects his professionalism.
yes. I did read that he and Sylvester Stallone started off as kind of good buddies, but they had a fallout. So maybe that
Mm-hmm.
was part of the fallout, that him and
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone, yeah, and then they had a fallout. Yeah, and after the Expendables, they hadn't spoke to each other after that, but they did have a fallout after that. So that could explain that. That I did not know. I thought he didn't walk away because he didn't get a big enough pay, but now I know the fallout was part of that. But in the 80s, his Bruno album wasn't bad. I actually bought some of those songs. He actually wasn't bad. I'm like, he's not a bad singer. Like you said, some
Hey.
actors should not even try to pick up, try to sing. They should give
I
it
mean,
up.
I can only imagine what him and Demi Moore was like. Who was the instigator mostly?
In that marriage. I don't
Yes.
think they were a good pair, period. You know what, Wolf? Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's a little bit of both of them. If you have my
Mm-hmm.
opinion,
Yeah,
I think it was.
What you
the
mean
two of
Nobly
them were
her
adults.
butt? Her butt was always big. Your eyes are deceiving you, Neo. It was always ginormous. All the chicks in Street Fighter had ginormous booties.
Focus, Wolf.
What an interesting topic we jumped from.
Yeah. Look. besides Willis, like Tim Curry, he can also sing. Like
Oh
before,
yes.
yeah, before he was paralyzed due to the massive stroke he had years later. Tim Curry, he can sing his butt off, and you can tell that he has a passion for rock.
Absolutely.
I agree 100%.
Oh yeah.
I'm
I actually do want to mention another. Actually, I think I mentioned it in the actually a few streams ago, where I mentioned this one. Now going to orchestral music, this time to tell a story, whether about a character or a main theme for a story. Nobuo Uematsu, he's the main composer for the Final Fantasy series. Specifically from the first game up till 10. He did do the music for the remake, for the Final Fantasy VII remake, because he did do the music in the original Final Fantasy VII, but he composed the music of Final Fantasy from the first game up till 10, or most of the songs from 10, because the final boss against Yu Yevon, he did not compose that. But what many of his songs that I absolutely love, especially for a Final Fantasy fan, what makes an artist so great is because of how much that is actually used to enhance the emotion for this. Because what Final Fantasy does good with, in a lot of them, at best they do it phenomenally, but at worst they tried. But what they generally do good with is that you're actually, even though it's a video game, but you're actually playing through a story, and that's what it is. And so with the music, to enhance this, they use it to either enhance the emotion or to tell something about a character. And what the biggest inspirations for his music, for the music to create Final Fantasy, is orchestral music and progressive rock. Like the intro to Jimi Hendrix' Purple Haze is actually used for the intro for One Winged Angel, both in the original and especially the Advent Children version of the song. It's used in Dissidia too. And so, in fact, the prelude theme in the original game, that's actually used in almost all the songs. Actually, it's in all the Final Fantasy games. The prelude, I forgot who actually did that, but the original prelude that he did, but it was sung in a C major in that one. I forgot who was the original composer, but he used that to set a medieval tone, and it's used in all of the songs in Final Fantasy.
that's interesting that you bring that up, because
When I was
nowadays
just a lad looking for my true vocation, my father said, "Now, son, this choice deserves deliberation. Though you could be a doctor or perhaps a financier, my boy, why not consider a more challenging career? Hey, ho, ho, you'll cruise to foreign shows, you'll keep your mind by sound by working out of doors. True friendship and adventure are what we can't live without. And you guys are killing me. And when you're a professional pirate,
Dude, don't ruin your vocals when you have a strep throat.
Come on, man.
that's what
Yeah.
the job's about.
Well, I'm
Up
sorry. I
stage,
wish that
lads. This is my only number. Now take some French trick. The special all decisive. The two British hero analyze them. And how you look at Buccaneers that make better good. And I see members of Noble Brotherhood. Why you gotta back me up, guys?
you gotta let me know what song
Oh,
you're
Ruin
doing.
your voice.
Come on, man.
Yes, take your
We're-
voice. Well,
Okay,
we're being
I'll
serious.
point the damn lyrics in the private chat so you guys can be my background singers.
Dude, it's
No,
not just
dude.
that, man.
You have a strep throat. Don't ruin your voice. I've been there before.
I'll be
Don't
okay.
do it.
I'll be
What?
okay.
Don't take our warnings lightly.
Finish the lyrics, guy.
I don't know what song this is too. I must.
Muppets Treasure Island.
Oh,
Mhm.
thank you, Final. Thank you, Final. I was going to say we talked about earlier Billy Joel with Disney. You know, other popular singers, a popular singer who did a great job with a Disney movie. I would say Phil Collins for Tarzan.
Well, yeah,
Mm.
Phil Collins, Elton John, and we also can't forget Tevin Campbell for the Goofy movie soundtrack.
Oh yes, yeah. I didn't know Tevin Campbell was on that. I did not know that at all.
Well,
I was
he was part of the soundtrack, and he also the voice for Powerline.
That's
Oh
funny
yeah,
that you
that's
didn't
right.
recognize his voice.
I haven't seen
Well,
the Goofy movie in a long time. I have to go back and look at it.
well,
I take it.
Powerline.
Myself.
Well, Powerline. He was both the Prince and Michael Jackson for the setting of Goof Troop.
Okay, now it's coming back to me now. I was telling Final about when he was talking about the score for Final Fantasy, the art of scoring, either for motion picture or television, is a dying skill. It's a dying skill. A movie score or a score to a video game that's a skill. And that's another one that nobody knows how to do anymore. I'm sure Wolf has his favorite, which is the Dune soundtrack.
Some don't know. While others they remember the craft of constructing a score for music. No, not for music. For video games, movies, and TV shows. However, you don't see. However, you can only see that either through through hidden gems or in the indie scene.
Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, especially for Final Fantasy, they always do this to tell an emotional story. Like one song, there's actually two songs that have a similar name, is Home Sweet Home. So then, one instance that it's used is in Final Fantasy V, which is used for Bart's theme in his hometown, which is meant to give a nostalgic sound. But then another instance where it is used in another Final Fantasy game is for episode Prompto in Final Fantasy 15, where it's meant to sound very emotional, where Prompto really starts having an emotional breakdown, where he starts knowing about his true origins as to where he came from.
That's very okay. Matthew, you go and eat your breakfast, dear. You go and eat your breakfast. Yeah, because
When you have plenty of rest.
Yes, I've got to kind of wind it down myself, gentlemen. I have work in the morning, and I had a busy day today. I was a lot, and I had to take care of some business, get my hair done, and then I had to move some more stuff around. So I'm kind of winding down myself, even though I had fun. This actually was fun. I will admit to that. This actually was.
Tell you
this was
right
very
now, you motherfuckers, if you guys don't show the views on the damn
Oh God!
weekend streams, I'm shutting this shit down. I'm doing this for you motherfuckers.
Because Wolf loves you all.
I will start a community tab asking if you guys enjoy the weekend streams. If I don't see shit from that, you're gonna make Dom cry. It was his idea, and I provided. So don't make Dom cry.
Oh, Dom, it was your idea to do one this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I had fun. The only thing is I need an advanced knowledge because on Sundays I'm kind of busy. I'm out and about. I'm running errands. I may be visiting family members and having dinner with family. So I'm not at my social media right away. So if you're thinking about it on a like a Friday or something or early Saturday, you could just let me know.
Well, they can always do a part 2.
You're a professional pirate. You're honest, brave, and true.
The next time when we do another discussion on music, I want to bring up instances where a song or album is actually based on a character from fiction, whether it's in novels or in comic books. Because believe me, there are a multitude of examples. Because like these musicians or bands, like they are geeks themselves.
Yeah, you're right. That gives me I'll have to think about that. You are right. There are some songs and albums based on fictional characters. So I gotta think about that. That gives me to think
Yep.
about. I gotta think if I have any in my collection.
Yeah, we'll save it for next time.
Okay. Okay. I will definitely do that. And there was something else I was gonna say, but I forgot it, but it's not important. It'll come to me later.
So, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Those 6 of you and those nonsense motherfuckers that kept up in and out. Excuse my voice, guys. It's been a rough week for me and a weekend. Hopefully, things will improve. And when things improve, I will definitely be dropping another Commander vlog pretty soon. 2, in fact. One for this Friday, hopefully, and the other one next Friday. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to be talking about in those 2 vlogs. That's a surprise. And I think spontaneous uploads will be sufficient for everybody. So far, the first 2 vlogs have hit the double digits. And a quick announcement: the Glowing with Janelle hit 136 views.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Woohoo! Congrats! Congratulations!
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Don't
be
y'all
proud of that.
freaking lose y'all shit.
Oh my God! Take the
not-
win! Whoop!
It's not that big of an accomplishment. I'm just surprised that it went that high.
Oh,
I mean, having Janelle on will always be a blast, and it's going to be a
Mhm.
blast in the future. I'm just again surprised. We have also hit 335 subscribers.
Woo!
Ooh, good for you! Congrats, Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
That's only
You're
one
getting
point
there.
up.
Well,
But not
1
bad
point
so
up.
far. The Wolf Commander Company quote movies. That's almost near 50 views. PLC video is almost 30. Akira is going strong and ever so stronger. We'll see where it goes, where it takes us. Our last open topic night is 304 views. Oh, excuse me. The glowing up with Janelle is 138 now. Jesus Christ, you guys are really loving this shit. Good. I'm happy. I'm happy that you guys are enjoying it, or at least you guys are tuning in and probably tune out after 11 minutes or so, which I'll short attention spans. I forgive you for having that. But yeah, so far the Akira manga studies are going strong. We'll be continuing that by the end of March on Volume 3. I'm reading it as we speak. What else is coming up next? We got the Jurassic Park streams going on as well. Look, man, the entry fee is you watch the first damn movie. Period. That's all you need. Damn it. We'll refresh your damn memory if you only vaguely remember it. Anybody want to take this one when we get there? Please message me. We could use some guests with fresh minds and fresh opinions. Does not mean I'm doing some recruitment. Just come on by and lend us your voice. Right?
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, you heard you all. The invitation's been open.
Yeah, that's not sounding confident, did you? That ain't come out confident. Come on, let's do that again. Right?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Much better. That's much better. Anyways, oh wow.
Yes, we need to get you to rest that voice. Save that voice for those streams. Those are streams are a lot of fun, and we need your voice there.
Listen to our advice, Wolf.
Anyways, we're still doing the fancy section of the elevator pitch. So I hope you guys have your pitches ready.
My pitch is
Oh, I
good and
do.
ready. Yes, mine is good and
Remember-
ready.
I
Guys,
actually,
guys got go on,
well,
dog.
my pitch is more of a revision of a previous one.
Don't say what it is. Wait for it till the day
I'm not,
comes.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm just saying it's a revision of a previous one.
I got one for you guys too. It's a obscure one, but like I said, we'll cross that bridge soon. So that's coming up, and I guess a month from now we're going to tackle Steam Boy as an anime spotlight.
No wait, you also got another thing on next month. You're doing earlier about the early Marvel movies, the early Oz Marvel movies.
That's right. It's
Yes.
coincidental that Matthew Flynn has showed up. We're definitely going to be hanging out with the Gladiator Kayon, talking about our ideal pitch of the Marvel Cinematic Universe of the Marvel Knights. As in, we're taking what came before we had the MCU and turning it into our own private MCU, only with Daredevil, The Punisher, Blade, and Ghost Rider.
What about the Fantastic Four? And aren't they around in that
We're
area?
talking about Marvel Knights, Leia, not
Okay, I'm
Marvel's
sorry.
first
I thought
family.
that but I thought it. I'm sorry. I thought it was in that same
If you're
timeline.
inclined, you will take care of that project.
Okay.
We, the boys, are going to do our very own Marvel Knights.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Speaking of which, I have my idea of how I would handle Ghost Rider anyways. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, well, see, like
well,
you get Ghost Rider and the Punisher, and you got that all wrapped up. And I'm thinking, what about the first Fantastic Four films?
like I said, I'll have you. We already actually did. We kind of did. I think I kind of did my rewrite of that, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
Yes, you
Oh,
did.
You gave that treatment to the X-Men too.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, when you revisioned the X-Men to be in the MCU.
That was Leia's part, though.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was.
yeah, I did
Schooner
do a
had
revision.
Schooner handled the Fantasy Four, but I had my own rewrite of it too. That can also be viewed in the video section. By the way, guys, under the MCU rights or MCU rewrites, whatever. One of those. It'll be It was our phase 4 ideas. But yeah. So I'd like to thank the Lady of Valor Plus Size.
Hello, everyone. This is Leia Plus Size, your lovely lady of valor, and thank you for spending your Sunday evening, early Monday morning with us. We hope you enjoyed this weekend stream. And as Wolf said, if you like these weekend streams, please leave the comments below. I'm sure Wolf will really appreciate it. Or if you do have an open topic you want us to talk about or discuss on the weekend, please leave it in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. You know how no topic is off limits from us. But until again, I want to wish everyone a good week and hope to see you on the next stream. Oh, Wolf.
The Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Well, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. And make sure you ring that notification bell. That way you get notified of our latest videos. Go subscribe to Wolf10 Media if you haven't already. Go subscribe to me if you haven't already. And be sure you stay tuned for this Wednesday, as I will still be continuing comic studies for Justice League, the world's greatest superheroes. This time covering Batman War on Crime, my absolute favorite Batman story. But also on March 17th will be the Final Fantasy 15 rewrite on my channel. And the week after that will be episode 3 of Final Fantasy Rolls, this time covering the Red Mage class. And then a week before my birthday, I will do comic studies for Kingdom Come, so be sure you stay tuned for that. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 signing off, and remember, may the light forever shine upon us.
The Hound of the South, Dark Pal.
Thank you everybody for joining us in tonight's live stream. If you enjoy our open topic weekend streams, make sure you put down your honest feedback on it on the comment section down below. And while you do that, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Wolfden Media's channel. If there is any other topic that you would like us to discuss, like in our usual schedules, feel free to do that as well. This is the Hound of South Darling Pal signing off, and remember to keep hope, idealism, and optimism alive, because there are forces in the world that wants to keep things dark.
Definitely gonna keep an eye on that, especially with the way how things are dying down. But we'll tackle that when we get around back to circling back to that. Other than that,
Well, rest assured, and YouTuber and Demion has said that that everything that we're seeing in our cultural climate, entertainment, and otherwise, it is dying out.
Mm-hmm.
that does not mean you stop working on your projects.
Well, bingo.
That only means you are now going back to the good old days where you have stiff competition. Now, when you're on that path, you bring out the best that you can possibly bring out. No more laziness, no more excuses. Bring out with your gun fully loaded and cocked.
Okay?
Period.
Don't forget meritocracy.
That's what I mean. That is exactly what I mean. In other words, always honor your betters, recognize your betters, but at the same time, do your best to meet them at their level. If you can't get at your level, then go ahead and sell for decent, and then rise up to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Don't
I tell you,
and don't
I'll
settle
tell
for
you
mediocrity.
that too. But one thing I gotta say, the betters. This is gonna sound morbid. I don't want to scare anybody. Your betters are not here for this world too long. I'm not saying you should wait for them to get old and die. What I am saying is, when your betters leave, you are there to pick up the torch where they left it. If you cannot rise to their occasion in the now, pick it back up when they have now put it down. You put yourself in the your next. This is my time next. Even at your age, whatever age you decide to pick up that torch again, always do your best. That's all we can ever do in this world. That's all we can ever do before we leave this world. Our best. Set standards for yourself. Set goals. Maintain them to the best of your abilities. What else can I say after that?
Well,
Be
that's a
excellent to
good
each
way.
other.
Have love for
One
your
at a
fellow
time.
man. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Dominic was done.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead, Leia. Repeat what you
Have
said.
have love for your fellow man.
Go ahead, Dom. What are you gonna say?
No, that was it. Be excellent to each other. I'm glad you got the Bill and Ted reference, but the words still ring true.
Exactly. So, guys,
Mhm.
whatever, and here's another thing. Always refine your ideas. Do your best to always make your ideas palatable, readable, and understandable
Yeah, so in other words, keep it simple.
as best you can. You don't need to be complex. You don't need to be overly and needlessly complicated. What you need is to make sure it's readable, understandable, and to a certain extent relatable.
Final. What did Professor Geek say in his stream on Saturday about writing? Is it write the stories, I get it confused. Was it write the stories you want to read or write the stories that you want your readers to read?
It's
Do you remember?
I remember this because now it's write the stories. It's write the stories that you, not that you want to read for yourself. Like, don't be in there for yourself, because you need to read the. You're telling the audience, you're writing a story just to give it to your audience so that they can read it. And actually, this is the thing that I actually wanted to do too when writing Light and Darkness, as well as writing other stories for my future projects, is that I wanted to write a story that way I can give it to you guys to see what you think, because I want to tell you a story. That's all I ever wanted to do.
Yes. Yeah. He gave some. He had a stream this Saturday, and he gave some really good advice about writing. Some really good tips, and that was one of the tips. And I thought that was a really good tip. If you are a up and coming writer, inspired to writer, to follow, that a lot of writers don't do to this day, and that's why we're not getting good material, because we're not following what you just said.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
no,
Yeah,
we just don't have no. What we're up against are people that just don't know an iota of writing. They just know how to blog. I'm talking about the people that actually want to write because they want to write stories, and frankly, your shit ain't up to snuff either, motherfuckers. So
yeah. And that's why you also need an editor for your stories. And that's why whenever I got the first 5 chapters of Light and Darkness done in my edited script, that's why I'm going to be sending it to you guys here on the panel, on the MeWe chat, just to see what you guys think.
And when you send it to the Discord as well.
Okay. Actually, I will, yeah.
So that we can also read it too in our own sessions to vet what you got there, man. Because I definitely want to read your Light and Darkness. There's so many people's books I want to get so badly. I'm waiting for text to get through first.
Well, tax season will be happening for a good long while, up until May.
Jesus Christ, it's a long wait.
No. I mean like you wait for your tax returns to come to you. So you still have time to file them until May.
I know. Still a long wait.
Well, it's better to take care of it sooner rather than later.
I know. We're doing that. That's good progress, Neo.
You.
Congratulations.
Spin your...
Sorry, I
ready
had
now?
to. Yes, we're ready.
Spin your welcome, and remind you guys once again that you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet. And you know what?
I'm not into guys with vaginas.